Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Rimworld Alpha 17. So, we're in a little bit of an interesting situation, and by interesting situation I mean absolutely destroyed at the moment. We are running very low on food, but we do have a ton of caribou that are just wandering the area. We can't actually grow any food anymore, so we are going to have to rely on the meat, and it looks like there is actually a dead caribou right there ready for us to take. I'd love to actually move all of this, all of these weapons and items of clothing as well. That'd be really nice to keep. I'm not sure if we've got the time to do that though. What we really need is electricity because we don't actually have any wood to keep the areas warm anymore, and it's minus 11 degrees. And yeah, Saj has got serious hypothermia. He's also not part of the group right now because he went on a break and got serious hypothermia, so we had to bring him back. And it's going to take 70% recruitment chance to get him back, so I'm not even sure that we're going to be able to do that. Thalona's on the midst of a break right now as well, so he might not even be any help. We're not in a good spot. I think it just goes without saying as it stands. So I'm going to let everybody do their thing for now. I don't really want to upset anyone more than they already are. Hideous environment. So somebody could do the cleaning, get rid of that minus 15. That'd be a thing. Awful hospital. Well, you don't have to worry about the hospital. If we stop these being hospitals, then we'll be all good. You apparently should set you to that as well. You apparently I've lost train of thought. He needs warm clothes. That's what I was going for. Is your hypothermia is now turning really bad. Okay. It is minus 22 in there. So we might actually end up freezing to death. That is a very real possibility. Saja is actually unconscious right now. We can't force him to wear any clothing until he gets up. And since he's not likely to get up, we might have actually lost Saja to the cold. Because we can't make a fire. If we go to try and harvest any of that, cut the plants. We could do the cut plants thing. Try get some wood. I don't know if we will. The only ones that we're likely to get wood out of are these 40% ones, and even then, I'm not entirely sure. If we get Blue to get up... Nope, never mind. Get Gregor to get up and cut this pine tree. I want to see if it yields any wood. If it does, then I'll cut down this smaller one. But I doubt it. So Thalona's tending to the frostbite that's constantly... building up on Saja. He is just going to keep losing limbs to it. And we cut down that tree and got nothing, so it's fair to say there is no wood on this map anymore. Which is really, really disgustingly bad. It might actually be the end of this run by the end of this episode. Saja is one of our best guys, and he's in extreme hypothermia. Thalona's spending too much time trying to keep him alive. And honestly, we can't keep him warm because we have nothing. The only things that we can warm him up with are campfires for 20 wood, and we don't have 20 wood. We've got visitors. I mean, if we could force him to put on this parka, it'd be fine, but it's just not going to happen. I think we have to admit defeat with Saja here and let him go, because Thalona will just keep applying bandages to him until he dies, which, judging by the amount of damage that's already been done, won't be very long at all. Which is a shame. Why is there a dead caribou in your room? I don't know. Well, I'm going to turn these all off of medical beds now. Somebody needs to finish off the marble blocks as well. Finish off that little bit of the wall. Not that it's really making much difference, but I imagine that is partly the reason why the temperature is so low right now. So, Gregor, I know I get you to do everything, but you're being quite useful right now, so let's try and sort this wall out so that the rest of it... It's these vents, essentially. Come on, there we go, last bit. So, is Saja ever going to come back from this? He's losing fingers and toes. Oh! A man-hunting pack of Labrador Retrievers have entered the area. Well, there's Manu. And here's the retrievers. It's potentially an acceptable amount, but we are down 2 people, so whether or not this will be enough is another question. Manu has... No, he has not bought us any time. Never mind. Bring you there. This is actually, by the looks of it, gonna be the end of the run. Which is a terrible shame. But that's just the way it's gonna be. Gregor. Where do we want to put you? Put you there. Thelona, go there, please. Here we go. Yeah, I need you to melee attack this Labrador and block the way. And they're coming round now. So this looks like it's going to be it. Blue, kind of need you to block the majority of these Labradors. Oh boy. Oh boy. Blue's been torn to death. Trigger's down. There's just O'Connell left. Run, O'Connell, run! Maybe you can get inside. It really won't make much of a difference. But still. You can do it. You can do it, O'Connell. Here we go. 4 on 1, 5 on 1, 6 on 1. It's a fair fight if I've ever seen one. And he's down. Oh, Trigger did just get up then for a second, didn't he? And then he went back down again. I think one of the Labradors downed him again. Welp, that is that's gonna be the end of this run then, I guess. I suppose what we can do is we can end the run right here, and I'll do the setup for the next run, essentially. On top of this one, we'll do a reset now. So, it's been a shame, but all horrible things must come to an end. And I think what we're going to do in the next run is do something a little bit easier, in a way. You guys want to see a little bit more progress, and this particular run has not been nice to us by any stretch, so I want to make sure that we can do something good. So I'll probably do something like a crash ship, start in a reasonable temperature, but on extreme difficulty, because I still don't want it on intense, I think it is, because intense is honestly too easy and extreme is slightly too hard. Apparently I need the middle ground, or at least need to get better at handling extreme. So anyway, guys, I will pause it and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back in the menu. We're going to go with a crash landed stuff. We're going to actually keep all of the usual starting gear. That'll allow us to get off to a decent start as well. I'm going to go on extreme because honestly intense is too easy for me now, so extreme it is. Apparently the seed is stalk of celery. Okay, so we've generated the map. Don't really know where we want to start. Let's do a select random site perhaps. And it wants us to start in a boreal forest that's mountainous. 30 days of growing. Time zone +2. You know what? We'll go with this one. Actually, then again, there is nowhere to trade. I'd like to have the option to trade, so we'll try not Tundra. Tundra has been done to death after that previous run. Can we even get there from this trade point? We'll go random again. This one we can do. If we want to head up to this colony to trade, we can do that. So, yeah, looks like tropical rainforest. It's going to be dealing with a lot of malaria and stuff like that. So, hopefully we can get a right setup for that. Alright, guys, I'm going to set up some characters, and I'll be right back. Alright, we are back. So, we've got 3 new colonists. I'm not going to name them just yet. If you guys want to leave names and suggestions for nicknames and stuff like that in the comment section below, by all means, go right ahead, and I will name them at the next possible time. So, we've got Time, the scientist, just essentially a reasonable character. Not particularly good at anything, but we can train them pretty nicely with a lot of passions. Teetotaler, so he's not going to be touching pleasurable drugs and alcohol or anything like that. and also a masochist as well. So he's actually going to get a mood buff for being hurt, which is it's an odd one, but it's a pretty cool one nonetheless. We've then got Tony, the surgeon. So Tony's going to be our medic essentially, decent at melee. Our combat skills are a little bit lackluster, but 11 melee is actually not too bad. An optimistic gay individual as well, so she might be trying to hit on our other females. Who knows? We'll see. But yet again, just another reasonable character. And then we've got Phoebe the gardener, who is kind, psychically hypersensitive, which is going to be really bad. She's probably going to break at the first chance of any of the drones that are really bad. It's plus 80% sensitivity on any of that. So we've got to really have her in a good mood if we want to make sure that she doesn't break during those times. But she's going to be out of commission during that. She's also a psychopath as well. So the suffering of others doesn't bother her at all. So watching corpses and things like that, selling into slavery, is not going to bother her. There's going to be very little that's actually going to affect Phoebe here without the psychically hypersensitivity, apparently. So other than that particular bit, there's not much of a chance of her breaking, I wouldn't imagine. Really good at growing as well. In the rainforest, there's a lot of malaria and stuff like that, so I wanted to make sure that essentially we had somebody who could grow heal root. So that is why we've got our individual here. Also decent at social as well. We've got two decent social people, so should be some pretty good stuff there. For the most part, nobody's incapable of anything. Intellectual and crafting is a bit of a downside for being missed, but it's not dumb labour, and as long as that's not missing, I'm happy with whatever characters we get. Alright guys, so let's get into the game. The three of you awake in your cryptosleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Alright guys, we have landed. You may notice we have wood. Very happy about that. Oh, it's going to be a breath of fresh air to actually have building materials. And we do have electricity as well, so actually fueling things up is not going to be an issue for us. So please stop selecting the colonists, because I'm not actually selecting them. Thank you very much. Right, let's get our party equipped. You are our melee unit, so you can take that. 2 on shooting and 2 on shooting. It doesn't really matter who takes the rifle, so we'll swap them over like so. And now that we've got them equipped, we need to figure out where we want to live. So we do want to find rich soil. We can't mistake it for marshy soil, which is actually the majority of this area. In fact, there's a bit of rich soil there. Let's see. Is that rich soil? That is. There's a ton of it there, but it does fall on the edge of the map where we can't actually build. After this line, we can't build anywhere. So this is actually not going to be too useful for us, unfortunately. Let's see, marshy soil. There's some rich soil. So what we could do, since all of this is rich soil, we could actually build our colony around this. We've got crash ship part as well. Plenty of steel down here. This might be the ancient structure, but we don't have to build anywhere near it. We can actually plan out our walls to start here, for example. I think we cannot build on marshy soil. Let me just check that. Oh, no, we can. We can build on marshy soil, so that's not an issue. And temporarily as well, we can use this building here to house our colonists. And we can actually add that as a structure later down the line as well for whatever we want it to be, essentially. It could be our production room / kitchen. It's currently metal tiles and steel walls, so it's very industrial. Not sure what we're going to use it for, but having it there is quite nice. So we can build our walls essentially along this path here. There we go. And that'll be essentially the area of our base, for the time being at the very least. We've got plenty of growing zones though, so we can build around all of this, and it's going to be really good. Okay, so let's get ourselves a stockpile zone. In fact, what I'll do first is actually build a door on this, and then they'll roof this off. And then I can actually put a stockpile zone in here, and this can be our temporary stockpile for all of our stuff. And we'll let these guys move all of their stuff into their new home. From that point forward, I guess we'll chop down some wood, or even actually we could go straight into stone cutting. I wouldn't be against that, actually. What is the stone of choice? It looks like granite is actually the most abundant in the area, and there's also sandstone. It's a bit of a mixed bag, actually. There might be slightly more sandstone. It looks like it's about 50-50. The game doesn't actually select more than 80 chunks at a time, so there is actually a few that aren't selected at any given time. Just if you weren't aware of that. So let's get ourselves a stone cutters table in there. And we'll build all of our structures out of that. And while Time's building up the ceiling, everybody else should be doing all of the constructing. Sorry, the hauling. As far as construction is concerned, 2, 2, and 3. So everybody's equally terrible. So Time should now be working on the stone cutters table. Very good. Want to make sure that gets done. I might deconstruct this ship chunk as well, just so we can get the steel and components right off the bat. Might save us a little bit of time in hauling, just to have stuff nearby while everybody else does their thing. And then we also, once we've done that, want to set up ourselves a growing zone and get that going. Looks like there's a lot of bushes here. I'm not sure if they're going to actually yield anything, because they're not actually named as berry bushes. Something to be aware of. Need to be very cautious of the local wildlife as well, because we do have a lot of boomalop, but also cobras as well. And I think they might try to attack our husky, which is not the end of the world, but of course that would be a problem. Apparently you are our hunter of choice. Well, nobody's hunting right now, so let's deselect that. Alright, let's get granite on the go. Do it forever, and then I'm just going to briefly put crafting for Tony on 1. 1 for Phoebe on gardening as well. On farming, sorry. And we'll set up a growing zone. It's kind of hard to tell where the rich soil starts, but I think that's going to be heel root. I think that kind of patch should be just fine for now. I need to have that open so I don't join them. And we'll have that as our food. And they can get started on that. Very nice. I'll do all of the manual stuff later on. This episode's not going to go on for too much longer, so I just want to get them started on everything, essentially. And I think we'll go and we'll put the houses in the bottom right-hand corner. And the reason for that is essentially the map is open to everybody. Or maybe we'll put it on the left-hand side. I'm thinking that the kill box is like in this area, or our defensive position. I don't know if I want to do a kill box or anything like that just yet. Usually I do, but I like to change things up. But there you go. So we could set that up. You guys should have sleeping spots in here. Should set that up just for the time being. But we'll be doing granite blocks, so we'll be able to put our houses down somewhere. I don't want it too far from everything, so I suppose we could just have our kill box in the center and then have it protrude out. That'd be alright. So our houses are going to be 8 by 8. Oops. 8 by 8, please. Thank you. And remove that plan. And 8 by 8. And, oops, another 8 by 8 there. And that's going to be our rooms for our colonists. From that point on, I think we'll put a 2 wide gap just for ease of access. And then this can be... How long was that? 15. Let's have a 15 by 15 room, and then what we'll do is this will be our kitchen slash dining slash fridge area, and we'll probably just have this as our dining area slash kitchen and leave the rest of it as our fridge, perhaps. I'd leave room for expansion on this side, essentially. Maybe we'll try that out. It's nice, easy access from the rooms going straight into having the breakfast and stuff like that, so that'd be alright. We're up to 160 already on the granite, so let's just get this started, shall we? Oops. That's going to be our first room. I'll let them do one room at a time. Should probably restrict that if I want to stick to my word. And we'll let them go. Start chopping down all the trees in the local area. Get us a little bit more wood. Not that we really need it, but that'd be nice. And it looks like our growing zones are coming along just fine. I think this will be perfectly fine for 3 people. Probably be fine for 4, to be honest. So having a nice extra little bit of food is going to be good for us here, I think. Wonderful. Okay, so if I look at this room, before I start actually adding stuff to it, I want... How do I want to do this? Because this is going to be the fridge, so wherever we get access from, I want to make sure that it's easy for everyone to get to who is doing butchering and stuff like that. So that could be our stove. And then we could do... That's going to be our table, and then there's going to be chairs all around it. So I think that's going to be access there. And then we can have... Another stove there. Butcher's table there, I guess. And we have a nice little open area as we come in. I don't know. Just keeping it open for expansion, because eventually we will want 2 cooks to feed everybody, so just planning ahead, really. About 1.5, about 1 room down now, which is pretty good. We've got plenty of granite. We want to keep going with this, though, because we do want to build our walls out of some sort of stone block, and everything else needs to be granite as well, so this will be just fine. The only issue that we're going to have as far as construction's concerned is that everybody's terrible. And being that everybody is terrible at it, means that we're going to have a lot of shoddy furniture and things like that. And it's going to be a lot of wastage and stuff like that as well. Which isn't great. I think it goes without saying. We have visitors, alright? Come along, join us. I might want to get somebody to walk over here just to confirm that this is an ancient structure. When you go near it, you get an effect pop up, essentially. So it might be worth knowing whether or not that is going to explode out 17 different spacefaring, laser-wielding lunatics. That'd be okay, but... yeah, we'll see. So let me check that the long table's actually an extra bit longer than that. My bad. That actually kind of works out, though. Hopefully this isn't too cramped for them. It might be a little cramped, in all honesty, but it should be reached nonetheless. So the first raid that we're going to get is going to be just some guy wielding a club or a knife, so we don't have to worry about defenses too much. I'm not going to worry about naming stuff. Never got behind that, to be honest. Yeah, we just want to get set up, really. We've got our growing zones on the way. We've got our heel root growing nicely. Apparently we've got a chinchilla there. We do eventually want to start up our cooking stove and stuff, so once we finish this room I might actually start building at least the kitchen. Where I want the entrance to be is another question. But we know that the door to the kitchen is going to be there. And let's see. There's going to be chair there. I don't know. We can't centralize it because of the tile size that I've set. I suppose we could go there. That might be alright. Then again though, if I want to put another room here, then this door becomes an annoyance. So... I don't know. Maybe we'll rethink the layout of this room at a later date. For now, I guess, get building the walls. We know this one's definitely going to be a door anyway, and this can be the entrance, temporarily at least, for everybody. So, we can also go and put ourselves a bed in. We've got plenty of wood, so I'm just going to go and put a double bed in there. In case any of our colonists ends up hooking up, then they can join the rooms, and we don't have to build a new one, or a new bed, in fact, for either of them, so that'd be alright. Alright guys, well, I think I'm actually going to end off the episode there. I think we've essentially outlined what we're going to be doing for the next episode. I imagine that this is all going to be done by the end of the next episode. At least I'm going to try to make sure that happens anyway. So we'll have cooking set up. We might get raided as well. And everybody should have their own bedroom. A local rat has gone mad. We'll deal with that before we end things off. Just stand there, guys. Here it comes. Come on. Wow, you're all terrible. Tony, cut it down. Seriously, it took 3 of you to take that down. Right. Time does need tending to. But for the time being, we won't worry about that. We'll do it in the next episode. Alright, guys. I'm going to leave it here. If you enjoyed the episode, like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon as well, and you'll get notifications when new videos go live. I do hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.